All right, y'all. Welcome back to Man Down Sports, man. As you can see from the thumbnail, Nico Harrison has been announced to be fired by the Dallas Mavericks, and a lot of people say they saw this coming. I like last year, being that Anthony Davis showed up, and his first game was pretty good, even though he got hurt. Kyrie Irving balling out of control and being a good leader for the Mavs. Um, them getting Klay Thompson, things like this. It was kind of looking good for Dallas, and then with the AD injury, it didn't look so good. Then you had a Kyrie injury, so which means you're not going to have him most of the season. And then they end up getting the number one draft pick, which means they was going to get Cooper Flag, who was the top prospect coming out of college. Then you was like, okay, well maybe Nico will be fine, but then Anthony Davis showed up a little bit out of shape for training camp. Of course, you're not gonna have Kyrie. Jason Kidd's decision to put the rookie Cooper Flag at point guard wasn't that smart. They got out to a slow start. AD got injured the first or second game, maybe third game where it was quite early. And they get out to a rough start. I think they like 3-6 or something like that, right? They get out to a very rough start. And things just doesn't look that good. And I guess that was enough for the ownership to say, all right, we gotta let Nico go. But I think what this really is about is a little bit about the slow start, but I think it's mostly about the fans have been calling for Nico Harrison to be fired since last season. Like they don't care. Like the only thing that can kind of quiet them down a little bit is this team playing competitive basketball and winning games. They still want Nico fired because they had a connection with Luka and they had a love affair with Luka and they didn't want Luka to go. So they still don't like Nico. They still would be asking him to be fired, but it would be a lot quieter if the team was winning. Right. And so I think the ownership could, at least say, look, man, we put a wooden product out on the floor that y'all can cheer for. We got Cooper Flag. We got, if they could roll out a healthy AD, a healthy Kyrie, and Cooper Flag and win some ball games, if they was 6-3 and not 3-6, then I think Nico still has a job in Dallas, right? But the fact that the guy you traded Luka for can't stay on the court. This is, he couldn't stay on the court when he first got there. He was gone for the season, and now he's gone again after just less than 3 games. Doesn't look good. The aesthetics of it is horrible. And then on top of that, Kyrie's also not out there healthy, and then the rookie is not looking too good. Nothing's going good right now, and patience would have been good. I think they could have been patient. I think Nico was a good enough GM to keep his job. However, it's just too much going on and too much noise from the fans. The fans want them gone. They're not going to like Nico, and I think the ownership was like, man, the connection we supposed to have with our fans we'll never get back because of the Luka thing. And the only thing they're asking for is the firing of Nico, right? That's the only thing they're asking for. So this was the owner saying, I have to give the fans a sacrifice. I have to give them a sacrificial lamb. That 3 or 7 things, right? So I have to give them a sacrificial lamb, and it's going to be Nico, right? And I think Nico probably understands it as well. It is what it is. Jason Kidd might be next. Jason Kidd better figure some stuff out. And putting Cooper Flag at point guard is not it, right? Letting Cooper Flag get some rebounds and run the floor as a point forward every now and then, I'm good with that, right? But just because you think it's a bright idea because he got a certain skill set and you want to try him at point guard, I wouldn't continue with that, right? That's just not a good idea, especially when you got D'Angelo Russell, who's a pure point guard, and then you got an up and coming player who plays similar, and I think his name is Brian Williams. I know his name Williams. First name start with a B. I think it's Brian Williams. Very crafty point guard. Put you in the mind of a low budget Kyrie Irving, right? So you got 2 assets at the point guard position. One is a starter, a known starter who's made all-star, who is competent. You bought him in here for that. Put him at point guard, bring Brian Williams off the bench to back him up, and let Cooper Flag get off-schedule plays Let me make sure my mic is on. Get off schedule plays. Cooper what? Cooper flag. Posh King, what you talking about? What it sound like I said? I said Cooper. Oh, it's Brandon Williams. Thanks. Yeah, I said Cooper flag. But no, so yeah, you use the point guards you got, and you use flag for what he does, and he can handle the rock a little bit on fast breaks on his when he get defensive rebounds, and every now and then you can actually let him bring the ball up kind of off schedule. But I wouldn't design him as my point guard. Like, I just wouldn't do it. So Jason Kidd's got to figure out he's got to figure out that part, everything on the floor right now, and he's got to be able to coach around not having Kyrie and not having AD right now, and design some stuff a little bit better. And having flag at point guard is not going to do it, right? All right, so this is what I wanted to really get in here and talk about, and I might open the phone lines up for this. Let me see if I can get it set up really quick. I might even open the phone lines up there before I end this one. But what I really wanted to talk about is the fans really got it wrong. I actually really believe that it was the right move for Nico Harrison to jump off the Luka Doncic bandwagon, and I think what some people would point to right now as low hanging fruit is that Luka Doncic is averaging 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and 38 points or something like that. I don't know, 36 points, 36, 9, and 9, right? Seeing him perform like that in LA is making the fans even more mad, right? Because they thinking, now we could have this right now with Dallas, but you've had it 5-6 years, and all you get is triple double basketball and a lot of frustrated people. Like, no one is lasting more than 3 years with Luka. Like, there's a pattern of people saying, I just can't do it. I want out of the Luka Doncic. I want out of the Luka world. I want out. Like, he might be a good kid. He's definitely a good ball player, probably a good person. Like, everybody seems to like him as a person. I like his personality too. When I see him laughing and having fun on the court, when I see him talking and interacting with players, he seems like a dope dude. I like him, and he's a phenomenal basketball player. It's just the way he plays is exhausting for other players. It's exhausting, dog. And I don't think a lot of people last long around him, especially not people who have their own mind and their own their own will, right? So as far as coaches are concerned, coaches who want to be themselves and want to coach however they want to coach and want to coach players, they don't last long with Luka. And players who want the ball, who can make plays for themselves, don't last long with Luka, because it's very hard to take a player that's really good, who knows what to do with the ball, and tell him, Luka's going to do everything. You're just going to sit on the side and be a floor spacer for him. However, whenever he gets in trouble, since you're the second best player, you have to bail him out. And in order for us to win, you got to figure out how to get 20 to 25 points a game with hand-me-downs. Like, we're going to give Luka every opportunity to get his numbers, and you need to get similar numbers as far as points. You need to get similar numbers with probably a quarter of the opportunity. You get what I'm saying? Imagine telling your second best player that, hey, look, we're going to give Luka the ball. He's the point guard. So as a point guard, he's running the offense. He's initiating the offense. He's facilitating the offense. He's facilitating everyone's shots. You're going to get the shots based on what he does. And also, he has the green light as the number one scorer. He can take any shot. He can take unlimited shots. He can hold the ball for the entire shot clock if we need to. He has the whole court at his disposal. Everyone else, you can only stand in the corner, on the arc, or set screens for him. But Luka has the whole floor to operate on. He can go in the post. He can go in the mid-range, mid-post. He can go ISO. He can call for one for a flat. He can call for anybody to screen for him. Like, he got all of that. And oh, by the way, he's only going to pass the ball if a double team comes. If the double doesn't come, then it's his job to score one-on-one, step back three, or slowly get to the paint and take one of his big back shots. Right? That's the offense. And if the double comes, he's going to swing it, and he's got to get the assist off it. You got to shoot it. Right? That's the offense. Right? If they switch, then he's going to go one-on-one. If they don't switch and they hedge, then we got the screen and roll lob threat action. That's the entire offense. And then, oh, by the way, whoever the second best player is, whether it's Brunson, Porzingis, Kyrie Irving, or now Austin Reeves, whoever the second best player is, you got to figure out how to get 25 points. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you have to do it. That's insane. So let's go down the timeline of Luka Doncic, right? Luka Doncic, of course, was drafted in 2018. He was traded for Trae Young because I think the Hawks had that pick, so they traded it. Ended up being Luka. He got Rookie of the Year. Trae Young was kind of close, but he got to a slow start. Luka was killing it. Remember, they had another phenomenal rookie in Dennis Smith Jr. He didn't have a phenomenal rookie season. He had a pretty good one. Enough that I thought that he was the point guard for the future. The first couple of games that Luka showed up, he wasn't playing point guard. He was playing alongside Dennis Smith Jr., who I happen to know his trainer because I played ball with him middle school and high school. So I kind of know about that story a little bit, but pretty much what happened is Luka showed up and Dennis Smith Jr. was the point guard. Luka was playing off ball. They realized that Luka had some point guard skills, and then all of a sudden there was no room for Dennis Smith Jr. and he ended up getting traded that season, right? I called it as well on this podcast. I called it. I said Dennis Smith Jr. getting traded. I called it around before 10 games was up. I called it, and that happened, right? So Dennis Smith Jr. was the first shooter job. We got to get rid of him. We go for straight Luka and let him do his thing, which wasn't a bad idea. The dude is bad. He's a bad boy. But now he's a point guard in your leading scorer that's taking the most shots. And it took a while to try to figure out how to build around him, right? They ended up having, now Rick Carlisle is a coach who won a championship with Dirk in Dallas. He's been with Dallas. He's got the most wins of all time in Dallas, the most games coached in Dallas. Like, he's a Dallas Maverick. Like, so he was there before Luka. He's bought them their only championship. Like you would think that's like royalty in Dallas. They pretty much chose Luka over Rick Carlisle. Rick Carlisle and Luka was butting heads. Now, mind you, I want you to think about the type of offense that Rick Carlisle ran when he was in Dallas with Dirk, with Jason Kidd, Jason Terry, Josh Howard, Marquise Daniels, Caron Butler, JJ Barrera. Just think about all those guys. He coached them to a championship. They lost to the Heat. They got back. They beat the Heat. The Heat big three, right? So just think about the type of offense that he ran. I think he had Nash. Nash wasn't there when he was coaching. But just think about the type of offense Rick Carlisle ran. Think about the coaching tree he come from. He played for did he play for the Celtics years ago? He also coached Indiana when Larry Bird was the GM. Think about those Indiana teams. I want you to think about the type of offense that he runs, and then think about what Luka was doing in Dallas, and you ask yourself, did Rick Carlisle want to run an offense like that? Think about the offense he runs right now in Indiana with the players he got now there. Halliburton, Siakam, all those. Just think about those offenses in Dallas and in Indiana, and then think about what they did with Luka and ask yourself if Rick Carlisle wants to run offense like that. right? So I doubt that he does. So I always knew it was some issues going there. You can Google right now the relationship with Rick Carlisle and Luka Doncic, and it was strained. They didn't really like one another, right? So Rick Carlisle was dealing with that the whole time he was there, butting heads with Luka. They bought in Porzingis in 2020, right? Porzingis comes 2020 or 2019, 2020 season via a trade. This is before Nico. Nico came in 21, I think. So Porzingis comes before Nico via trade, and they're trying to make it work because the whole time Luka was with Dallas before Porzingis came, Luka didn't have a legit number one. He didn't have an all-star level. I mean, not number one, number two. He didn't have an all-star level number two or a player like Porzingis. So Porzingis showing up with Luka seemed like a match made in heaven. They had a pretty good first season. The second season, Porzingis was a little banged up with injuries. And but whenever he was on the floor, it was decent. But he was frustrated and he complained a lot. I've done a video on this. You can just Google Man Down Sports Porzingis, the interview he did with, I want to say he did one on Old Man in the Three with JJ Redick, and he talked about his time with Luka. It was frustrating. Like, it was obviously frustrated. Like, he talked about how frustrated it was playing with Luka because they wanted him to stand in the corner and just space the floor for him. They wanted him to be Maxi Kleber. Why bring Porzingis over as your number two if you want to get him to play like Maxi Kleber? You might as well just play Maxi Kleber, which is an issue with a lot of this one-man offense that these superstars run, like Harden, James, Westbrook, LeBron James, Luka. This type of offense is better with a lesser player, because with a better player that got more capability, he wants to use some of that capability. So in Porzingis' case, hey, I'm a pretty good post player. I can't get no post-ups. All I can do is stretch the floor as a three-point shooter. I can't get no ISOs. If I get a mismatch, I can't exploit it. Right? So that's the frustration of a good to great player playing alongside a player like Luka in that offense. Right? So now Porzingis frustrated the whole time, and he wants out. Right? So by the time Nico gets there, I think he's the one who made the trade. Right? Nico is the one. Nico got there in 2021. And I think the trade went down in 2022. Yeah, so Nico was the one that was the first big major move he made. He's the one who traded Porzingis to the Washington Wizards because Porzingis wanted out. And he immediately went there and almost made All-Star on that Wizards team. And then he left. He ended up leaving there and going to Boston to win a championship. But Porzingis was frustrated playing with Luka. So Dennis Smith Jr. is gone, right? Donnie Nelson Jr., who was the GM before Nico, he resigned or got fired or whatever the case may be. And now Porzingis is frustrated and he wants out. So Porzingis is gone. So now you losing young players like Dennis Smith Jr. that plays point guard because he can't play point guard with Luka, right? And he's not a shooter, so there's no need to have him. So he's gone. Porzingis came, didn't last more than 3 years. He wants out. Donnie Jr., he wants out. And then the next shooter job was Brunson, who was the new number two that they drafted. Now that Porzingis is gone, we got to find another number two. It ended up being Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson looked pretty good, but now he has to play off the ball. And even though he's a real point guard, he's got to play off the ball. So 6'8", big back Luka can play point guard, right? Who the point guard who can't guard point guards, who shoots more than Tom Shepard at the tournament, or Tom Shepard playing one-on-one with Nuts. So he shoot more than that. Green light is greener than Green Lantern. That point guard, a real true point guard that can guard point guards, who has a point guard body, who has a point guard mentality, has to play shooting guard with Luka. And then second fiddle, and then get scraps. And then oh, by the way, you got to find 20 points. I don't know how you're going to find it. You got to find 20 points, right? So that's Brunson. And when it was time for him to re-sign with the Mavs, he decided, I'm going to the Knicks, man. I'm sorry. Like, and there's a report that they tried to deny. It was someone close to his camp who leaked the reason or the real reason why Brunson wanted to leave. And he said that he feels like outside of the Luka system, he can do more. That's basically what he said. And he had to come out and deny and say, I didn't say that, right? You know, because him and Luka is cool. Right. But, you know, it's not wrong with being honest and saying, look, man, in that system, this like it's very hard. That's why Kyrie wanted to leave LeBron. Like, who wants to sit by and get scraps? And then when I put up the same similar numbers as you, I still don't get no credit. When I hit the game winning the championship, I don't get no credit. I put up 51 points. I don't get no credit. Like, who wants to do all that work just so one man can get all the praise? Nobody wants to do that, right? So even Kyrie left. Like, you know, it's hard playing. Like CP3 left Harden. Carmelo and Paul George left Westbrook. Everybody who runs that system, they can't keep people around them long. Not even coaches, not even GMs. It's always a domino effect of firings and resignations, and trade requests and free agent walks. Is always that. Right. So Brunson left. Right. Then it got to the point where Rick Carlisle could have stayed. Now, mind you, this is a young rookie of the year phenom superstar who ain't even 24 yet. And Rick Carlisle has been with the daggone Mavs since 2008. Won a championship with him. Got a good rapport with the owner. He could have just, like, why wouldn't a great coach like that see a great player and say, I ain't going nowhere? Phil Jackson would never see an opportunity to coach Shaq and Kobe and not take it. And then when Shaq was traded, and then, you know, Phil Jackson left, and then he seen they brought Pau Gasol in to help Kobe and called Phil. Phil was like, I'm not passing up an opportunity to go coach Kobe Bryant when he has an opportunity to win because he got help now. Rick Carlisle looked at Luka, looked at the history he got with the Mavs, looked at the owner who is willing to spend money, who trusts him, and then looked at Luka's number 2 in Brunson and was still like, nah, I'm good. And resigned. Not left when his contract was up. He resigned. After 13 seasons, he resigned and said, I'm going to Indiana. And he wanted to draft Halliburton some year when he first came out, but he didn't get an opportunity to get Halliburton. And the first thing he did when he got to Indiana is traded for Halliburton. I'm like, buy Sabonis. You go ahead and go to Sacramento. I want that point guard because I got a way of how I want to run my team. He chose Indiana and Tyrese Halliburton over Luka and Dallas. That's what Rick Carlisle did. Rick Carlisle said, I'm going to Indiana. And before he got there, he was like, hey, I want to make a trade when I get there. I really like this Halliburton kid. And the owner probably was like, or the GM probably was like, heck yeah, we want you over here. Come on over here. And the first order of business is get rid of Sabonis, get me Halliburton. And now, a couple of years after that, they're in the finals in a game 7. And who knows what would have happened if Halliburton didn't tear his Achilles. On the other end, Jason Kidd took Luka and Kyrie to the finals, and them clowns won 1 game. So Luka get to the finals, 1 game, and Luka played horrible. He got exposed. He was the reason they lost. And Halliburton played phenomenal and got to a game 7 against a very good team. So Rick Carlisle knew what he was doing. He chose Halliburton, Indiana over Luka and Dallas. So it's multiple people. Porzingis wanted out. Brunson wanted out. Rick Carlisle wanted out. Donnie Nelson wanted out. And Dennis Smith Jr. didn't fit. It's just a lot of shoes dropping, right? A lot of shoes dropping. Now, let me say this. All of those people wanted out of the Luka Doncic business for one reason or another. You can say his attitude was trash. That's true. You can say he ain't got no fucking respect for his coaching staff and his teammates. That's true. You can say he don't play a lick of defense. That's true. You can say he don't care about defense. That's true. You can say he shows up out of shape. That's true. You can say it's difficult planning his offense where he's got the ball for 23 out of the 24 seconds of a shot clock. And then if he does pass you a ball, it's a freaking grenade that you have to launch as soon as you touch it. It's like a hot potato, right? All of those things are true about Luka, and a reason for people to want out of the Luka business. So when Nico sat down with the ownership and pitched to them what he wanted to do, hey man, we got Luka. We're gonna have to pay him a crazy supermax. Right now, without Luka being under the supermax, what we can afford is Kyrie and whatever this roster is. That was good enough for us to get to the finals on a special run where you really shouldn't have got past OKC. It was a lot of referee help. We got past OKC on a special run, and we got there, and Boston exposed our best player, Luka, and we seen the worst of him in every way. This is 4 or 5 years in a row of him showing up fat and having to take time off early and miss games early. He's already missed 4 games this season, right? So he's always showing up out of shape. He's playing overweight. He's slow. He don't defend. He got a bad attitude. We can't coach him. And we got about to get him the supermax. And the best we could do with a regular contract extension was get to the finals and get 1 game and get exposed. Once he gets this supermax, we're not going to be able to even afford all of these players that help us get to the finals. So what they had to pitch to the ownership is, if we give him this supermax, which means we're going to lose a couple of players that we can't afford anymore, are we confident that Luka can continue to get us to the finals and probably get us a ring at some point with the trend that he's on right now? Is his body going to hold up? Is he going to be injury prone? Like, we tried for 4 straight years to get him to change his diet, change his workout regimen, and he hasn't done it. He just doesn't listen. If we give him the supermax, we'll never get him to listen to us because he's got all of his rewards. We're never going to be able to tell him that. We've gotten rid of coaches and players for him and everything. Like, everybody is getting fired and leaving this team because of him. Is it all worth it? And from the owners to the GM to the coaching staff was all aligned that let's go ahead and get rid of him. The only mistake they may have made is maybe they could. I don't know. Well, if it's true that they didn't talk to anyone else, just Rob Pelinka and the Lakers, because Nico, he loved AD, and because Coach Jason Kidd coached AD when he was with the Lakers in the bubble and they won, and they was familiar with AD. I get it. If AD don't get healthy, I think it's a good trade. If he don't get injured, if he stays healthy, I think it's a good trade. I would have liked to see them bring AD and Austin Reeves in their trade instead of AD and Timu Kobe. I forgot his name. What's Timu Kobe name? The shoot Max Christie, right? I would have liked to see them bring in AR. But maybe they didn't want him because he didn't play no defense. Max Christie does play defense and can shoot a little bit. So I understand it a little bit. But if they would have talked to other teams, I mean, did they call Detroit and see if they could get a head-to-head straight-up trade for Cade Cunningham? Did they do that? You know what I mean? Did they I mean, that would have been dope. Cade and Kyrie in the backcourt. Cool. It might have been cool. It's a couple of things they could have tried, but I don't think nobody dumb enough to get rid of a player that can give you 30 points and play defense. For Luka, Cade's in shape and he played defense and he can give you 30. He just gave you 46 last night. Anthony Edwards is in shape, plays defense. and can give you 30. So why be so impressed with the 30 Luka can give you when you know you're not going to get any defense? Right. So I'm not mad at them for being out of the Luka business. The only thing they was a misstep on was maybe they should have tried to get more for him. You know, but AD's a superstar. He's just an older one, and he's an injury-prone superstar. So, it was a gamble, and it didn't pay off so far. It hasn't paid off so far, right? The other thing I point out, it's not all the grass ain't all green over there in LA with Luka. I'm telling you, it's only been 10 games. He's already missed 4. Right? They got blowed out by the Hawks. That play style is horrible. Right? It's hero ball, right? And he can't be a hero every night, right? LeBron was able to make hero ball work because he always surrounded himself with super teams and superstar players and players who can score the ball better, if not just as well as he can. Like, that's a luxury. A lot of superstar, like when you think about players that we think are in the top 10, whether it be Mike, Larry, Magic, KD, Shaq, maybe Duncan, Hakeem, Kareem, Wilt. When you think about the top 10, Oscar, whatever, however you want to put it, when you think about that top 10, there's not a lot of the guys in the top 10 that can say that they had another 30-point score on their team. Magic had Kareem, that's a 30-point score. All right, so boom. Bird, not so much. He had a really good number 2 in Kevin McHale, but he wasn't a 30-point scorer. Right. And I'm talking about proven 30-point scores before they even joined. Right. So obviously Pippen wasn't a 30-point scorer. He's never averaged more than 21 points ever, even when he was the number 1 for the Bulls. Right. So or maybe he did, but not 30. Right. Not nowhere near that. But he definitely wasn't that before Jordan got him. Kobe had Shaq, that's a 30-point score. Shaq had Kobe, that's a 30-point score. So that's different, right? When you start narrowing it down, LeBron, he's had Kyrie, that's a 30-point score. He's had AD, that's a 30-point score. He had Luka, that's a 30-point score. He's had Wade, that's a 30-point score. He's had a lot of number 1, and even his number 3s are capable of that. Bosh, Dwight, Kevin Love, he had Melo, like though he's had some guys, right? But when you look at Luka, he's playing in the same system to where he's going to need a 30-point scorer as his co-star to make it work. And that's very hard to say that someone is one of the best players in the league but need a 30-point score beside him. Like, that's like, you need that. Like Magic didn't need it. He had it with Kareem, but he didn't need it. He still was Magic without Kareem. When Kareem wasn't a 30-point scorer no more, he was old. He still was Magic. Karl Malone didn't need a 30-point score. He just needed Stockton to run the offense. But to need a 30-point score to be successful, when you're supposed to be the scorer, how do you need another score that can get you 30 any given night when you're supposed to be that? That tells me something is flawed in the system that you're running. There's something very flawed, right? So, even though Nico did get fired, I'm not with the crowd that thinks that just because he made this trade that he deserved to be fired. I think he just got fired because the crowd, the fans wouldn't stop, and the ownership was like, man, we got to get our fans back, and we got to give them something. Like, we thought we was going to be able to get them wins to shut them up, but the wins aren't coming, and our 2 best players aren't even on the floor, and the noise is getting too loud. We got to give the fans something to quiet them down, and they gave him Nico. So now, what are the fans going to say now? If Dallas is losing and AD's not on the floor, I guess the new thing is going to be either fire J Kidd or trade AD. So, as the owner of the Mavs, now that you show the fans that I will make major moves with my organization based on your boos and your concerns and your complaints, even though I was 100% on board with the move that this guy made, I'm going to show you that I'm so flimsy that if you boo long enough, which was probably like the last, what if you got traded at the deadline last year? So I don't know, last 20 games of the season last year, they shut up over the summer because they got Cooper Flag, and then the first 10 games of this year. So about 30 games of hearing firing Nico, the owner was like, I got to let him go, even though I told him that we wanted to do this move to save this money. We can't give him a supermax. Right? I just got a text from Derek that said the Mavs didn't sell out their last game. Yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? The owners probably looked at it and was like, shoot, they serious, dog. Like they not buying tickets no more. We gotta let Nico go. So he chose the money over Nico, which is cool. That's his business. But he didn't get fired because this was a bad move, y'all. Getting out of the Luka business is something that's been a trend for every competent player, coach, GM. Like this, it is a trend. We're at year one. I don't even count last year with the Lakers. We're at year one, and JJ Redick has already had to change his offense to Luka-ball. All that intricate offense he wanted to run last year, they're now running Luka-ball. And this is the beginning of the end. I give it 3 to get fired, resign, quick, and leave in free agency. It's only so long that people can take this Luka stuff, dog. It is insane, bro. The footage, the video I did, y'all got to go find that video I did breaking down his defense against the Hawks, bro. I couldn't be a teammate, bro. I could not be a teammate with my best player giving that type of effort and then complaining about the mistakes we make. Like it is insane to if the basketball court was a parking lot and the parking lot had 4 phone booths in it and a basketball goal, and we tell Luka, hey, all 4 of your players have to be in that phone booth. All their points have to come from that phone booth, and the entire parking lot is at Luka's disposal. So you got all the parking lot. You can move anywhere on the court with the ball. Your teammates can only be in that phone booth, and when you give it to them, they have to score from that phone booth. What I'm basically saying is every player on the floor and their role is restricted, and Luka got all the freedom. And it's not supposed to be that when you're the best player. When Phil Jackson showed up with the Bulls, he told Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan was running the Luka system back then and averaging almost a triple-double. And Phil Jackson, the first thing he told him is, you can't play like this. I'm going to put in a triangle. You're going to love it. You're going to trust it. And what the triangle did was it restricted Mike, and it gave his role players more freedom, right? And it makes sense that the lesser players should have a little bit more freedom to be free, because it's harder for them to score than it is the best player. The best player can score in the phone booth. Like Michael Jordan usually got 2 to 3 dribbles before his shot. He usually got the ball in the post, 1 dribble, fade away, 1 dribble up a number, 1 dribble drop step. You know, so if he get in the post, he do whatever he got to do with 1 to 0 dribbles. If he get it on the perimeter, 1 or 2 dribble pull up from the mid range, or 1 or 2 dribble all the way to the rim. He got his shot from the perimeter with 1 to 2 dribbles, maybe 3 at the most. And he only used about 3 seconds of the shot clock, because once he get it, he going right into his motions. But by the time he got it, the offense had been ran and went through the motions. Scotty will bring it up, or Kukoc will bring it up, or Ron Harper will bring it up. They'll initiate the triangle, ball movement. spacing, all that'll be happening. And off of all of those actions, you might go through 2 or 3 different actions looking for a shot with the role players and probably use about 10 seconds, maybe I say 12 to 15 seconds trying to find a shot with the triangle. So imagine the offense is going through its motions and 12 seconds off the shot clock go with you trying to find a shot outside of Mike. And then if we don't get a shot with our role players outside of Mike with the triangle, boom, the ball comes to Mike, and we know Mike two dribble pull up. That's a high percentage shot. We'll get that point. But what Phil wanted is he wanted everyone involved because it's harder to guard because the team doesn't know what's coming, and they got to guard everything and everybody in every action. The back doors, if you help too much, Bill Winnington hit the baseline jumper. Luka get it in the post. Scottie Pippen to go all the way to the hole. Scottie Pippen could bank it from the baseline post. Scottie could pull up three. Harper could go all the way to the hole. Coach could pull up three. He could spot up. It was so many different things. Then everybody will lay off Rodman because he never shoots, and all of a sudden he'll shoot a three and just shock you. Right? It's just so many. It's more dangerous that way when everyone's involved, and then to know you got the best scorer in the league to say, man, if none of that works this possession, we can just throw it to Mike, and we don't have to set no screen for him. He don't need no mismatch. He don't need 15 seconds and 15 dribbles. He need 3 seconds, 3 dribbles, and the ball, and that's it. That's how it's supposed to be done for your best player. It was the same way with Tim Duncan in San Antonio. Tony Parker and the offense that Pop wanted to have run, Tony Parker, Ginobili, all those guys was running that offense. And if they don't get buckets off how they was running Pop's offense, then we can just throw it down in the post to Tim Duncan, and we already know it's barbecue chicken down there. Like it's a luxury to have a player that's so good and so skilled that he only needs this much to get a high percentage shot, but he's allowing his role players to have this much. Luka is doing the opposite. Luka is getting all the freedom. He's getting this much. He's getting 20 seconds out of the 24-second shot clock. He's getting the ball from the beginning. He's keeping the ball all the way till he shoots it or passes it for a shot. Like he only passes it to someone who's going to take the shot. The only way that person don't take the shot is if the defense rotates fast enough where he has to make the extra pass. But for the most part, Luka comes up, he gets a screen, and he's going to do something off the screen. And if you double, that's the only way he's going to get the ball up. If you don't double, he's going to end up taking the shot. He's only giving the ball up when the double comes. So pretty much what they've decided, whoever coaches Luka, is Luka, you're going to have the ball until it's time for a shot. Everyone else is just standing there waiting for a pass. You're just playing Tom Shepard versus Nuts. So it's Luka versus everyone. And I just got the other 4 guys spacing the floor so you can't get double easy. And every shot that his role players get is based on if Luka's going to pass it to you or not. If your man doubles or not. If Luka is so good, how come you got to give him the world at his disposal with all the time, all the unlimited dribbles, unlimited screens, unlimited time, all the shot clock, all the court? You got to give him this much, but you're asking players that's not as good as him to score inside of a phone booth. It's harder, and you have to be more skilled to score inside of a phone booth. You get what I'm saying? Like you ever heard someone that let's say somebody, I don't know, they make clothes or something like that. Or no, let's just say a carpenter. With carpenter and working with wood, you gotta measure, then you gotta cut. What carpenters always say is you measure twice, so you can only have to cut once. Measure twice, cut once. Right? A very experienced carpenter who's good with measuring and the measuring tape and good with using the machines that cut and all that stuff, You know what I'm saying? And it ain't just simple cuts. Like they got to cut some of the wood on angles. You know what I mean? Like it's precision to it, right? So when you precision with something, that means you're probably more skilled. And if you give a carpenter, hey, I'm going to give you I don't know, 4 slabs of wood for you to do this job. And 4 slabs of wood is like that's like if you mess up one time with those 4 slabs, then the job not going to be done because 4 slabs is the minimum that you need, and you only gave me 4 slabs, right? So I can't mess up. Every cut I make got to be perfect for me to get this job done. But an inexperienced person will say, "Hey, give me 8 slabs. I need 8 slabs because I know I need more. I need more leeway. I need more rope. You know, I need more space. The more space you need, the more time you need. All of that stuff means that you're not as skilled. The less time and the less space you need is for the more superior player. You know, in this case. So the player that scores inside of a phone booth, he don't need the entire floor. He don't need screens. He don't need the whole shot clock. He don't need 15 dribbles each possession. That player is probably the better player. The player who needs the whole shot clock, he needs the ball in his hand. He needs all the space on the floor. He needs screens. He needs shooters. Need. I'm just gonna make a Lakers jersey with need going across. It's not gonna say Lakers. It's gonna say need, and it's gonna have Luka's number right there. And I'm gonna make one for LeBron too, because they need so much in order for their offense to work. In order for Luka to average what he's averaging, he needs, and that list is long. He needs. He needs shooters. He needs screen and rollers, lob threats. He needs 3 and D. He needs defenders to help him defend. He needs he needs the ball. He needs to be the point guard. He needs the green light. He needs screens. He needs mismatches. He needs space. It's just too much, man. Need. Right. So Nico didn't do bad with this trade. I would want out of the Luka business as well. I'm gonna open the phone lines up real quick, man, just to see if there's anybody who disagree. And I'm only taking 3 phone calls. Let me get to some of these comments. Luka needs free throws to inflate his numbers. You can say that. Real Elise said, but Jordan could get you 50 with less than 4 dribbles and 4 free throws max in the game. Yeah, he could. Worldbreaker said, not all the time, especially in the 90s. He definitely got the whistle in his favor. Every superstar got the whistle. Every superstar. Yeah, we watching your fine ass. What the hell? Is this a who? Who was this comment to? And this better not be no dude. Luka is a cancer. Yo, that's funny, dog. Luka is a cancer. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let me see if I can get in this friend. Oh man. Caller from Orlando was good. What's your thoughts, man? Oh, hold on. They said they can't hear you. I got you. Hold on, I ain't turn you on. All right, go ahead. Start over, man. They can hear you now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Start over.
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, all right. So I was saying,
Oh man, how his phone hung up? Sheesh. Let me see if I can get him back on the phone.
Please leave your message.
Man, all right. I'll take another call. I don't know how the phone hung up, brother, man. But you was spitting. I wish I had the mute button off. Warburger said I'm always hanging up on people. I did not hang up on that man. He was spitting, man. You call in Warburger with your little slow self, man. Especially with that crazy junk you text me the other day, talking about some freaking Tyrese Maxey is better than Iverson. Boy, if you don't stop, crazy as hell. Come on, let's get another phone call. Simply Hot Take said, you say Luka is the one, then you must mean sheesh. Oh man. Nino, what's popping, dog?
What's up with it, man?
What's good?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I agree with you now, but they had to do that. They had to, unless it's what you saying that they knew about it. That's kind of messed up if they knew about it.
Yeah, they
But
approved it.
if it was his,
They approved it. Like the ownership was good with it. Like, listen, everybody knew when this trade went down, they knew that it was new ownership that just took over the team from Mark Cuban. There's rumors they want to move the team away from Dallas, I think to Vegas. Those are rumors.
I heard that.
Also, you got to understand that Supermax that Luka was about to get was about to be insane. Like this is the same reason why after Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown signed those max contracts right after a championship, why would
They sold the team.
They sold the team. Michael Jordan sold his team. Mark Cuban sold his team. Jenny Bush sold her team. They're looking down the line. They looked at the new CBA. They looked at what these Supermax was going to be like, and they started saying, if we signing those type of checks, that's insane. They're selling their team to billionaires. They probably got more bread than them, and they're saying, I'll be a minority owner, but you can be in charge of daggone signing those types of checks. I'm not doing it. So it's crazy that the two most prestigious organizations in the NBA, the Celtics and the Lakers, both sold their teams.
Right.
They don't want to pay that money, dog. So they was on board with getting rid of Luka.
Yeah, that's messed up then. Because the only way I was saying was they took AD. They took AD, right?
Right.
And AD is a gamble only because he's injury prone. I think that the trade would have been a great trade for both teams if AD was healthy.
Yeah.
AD with Kyrie, we just didn't get a chance to see it.
We still got a chance to see it though. Kyrie's coming back after the All-Star break.
That and you took the last point is they might have did this premature though. I agree with that. It still might be a change. Basketball a long season.
Yeah.
So and I would think that Nico was thinking Luka probably wouldn't even got in shape if he wouldn't have got rejected. So they looking at it from a view, but they ain't looking at it from okay, what would have been if he would have been in Dallas? He would have still been drinking beer, chilling.
Good point.
So you wouldn't see skinny Luka because he didn't have nothing to work toward until people started talking about him. So I think they kind of jumping the gun on him. If that's the case,
yeah,
that's yeah.
That's
all I got, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nico.
All right.
All right, one more call. Let me get that caller that the one that called me Golden Brown. She just go use you, Golden Brown. Oh man, X-Man, what's up, big dog? I ain't seen you in a while. He said his mess up that the NBA or the Mavs agreed to trade them, then threw Nico under the bus after backlash. It's their right, but it's still mess up. I agree 100%. I agree 100%, man. Yeah, like man, if you go stand on business, stand on business. But at the same time, I would respect it if he pulled Nico in the office and was like, dude, I just need you to take one for the team. You know what I'm saying? You still go get your money. It's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Because Nico had just signed the extension after they went to the finals. You know, still go get your money. But the fans want a pound of flesh, and you the first one that I can give them. Right. And this is the move that they got to do. And if they still want another pound of flesh, then it's gonna be J Kidd at some point, right? So the unfortunate thing about this though is Nico has a really good relationship with Kyrie. So now is it possible that if the Mavs aren't winning and we owe Kyrie money and we owe AD money and we not confident that we can keep both of them on the floor and get anything out of it, is AD and Kyrie trade bait at the deadline? One or both of them, right? And what do you send them? Do you send them to the Rockets for draft picks and Fred VanVleet? Right? Do you send AD? What do you send AD? I mean, who would want him right now? Man, that's a good question. Would Boston take a chance on him? Right. So I mean, it's a lot going on with that. You know, Nico, the first shooter drop, and this might not be done willing and dealing. Wordbreaker said, I asked you this over chat, then call in. Do you think we should wait to see what Cooper Flag turns into before we fully judge Nico? I mean, if you're judging Nico just on the trade, I mean, I don't know what Cooper Flag had. The fans are judging Nico just by trading Luka. They don't care what Nico did. Nico showed up in 2021. He got hired in June. First trade was Josh Richardson to the Boston Celtics for Moses Brown. We didn't see much of Moses Brown at all, so that was probably some type of salary dump. He signed Reggie Bullock, which was a shooter. He signed Tim Hardaway Jr., which was a shooter, and Sterling Brown. We didn't see much of Sterling Brown, but Reggie Bullock and Tim Hardaway Jr. played very well alongside Luka as three-point shooters. Even Tim Hardaway Jr. got tired, and I forgot to mention that earlier. Reggie Bullock and Tim Hardaway Jr. both got tired of playing with Luka. And so did JaVale McGee. They had team meetings that McMenamin, who was a Dallas Mavericks inside reporter, he talked about meetings that was had the year before they got Kyrie. Oh, no, it was the year they did get Kyrie. Meetings that was held that these players was telling Luka to his face, I do not like playing with you. I do not like playing in this system. It was pretty bad. And JaVale McGee was one of the most vocal ones, and he was gone that summer. You know, I'm telling you, Luka causing up a lot of stink, right? So 2022, Nico signed Luka to a contract extension, $215 million. In 2023, after everything failed with Porzingis, and after they lost Brunson, he traded for Kyrie Irving and Markieff Morris, right? The next year, they get Lively and a couple of the more guys, and they playing really, really good. They make it to the finals. When they made it to the finals, Nico, at that time, the moves that he was making, the shooters they put around, they, you know, getting rid of Porzingis because he was disgruntled, letting Brunson walk, picking up Kyrie and taking a chance on him from Brooklyn and all that stuff. It got them to the finals. They liked the job that Nico was doing. They gave Nico a multi-year contract extension after the 24 season. And then when 25 showed up, they get off, you know, to a slow start. Luka in and out of the lineup for injury. All of this stuff, man, that was like, man, look, dude, it's Groundhog Day. It's the same thing every season, dog. Same thing, man. Let's go a different route. Plus, we gotta re-sign this dude to a max, super max, and I don't think that's the right idea to do right now. And they traded him. So everything that he did since showing up in 2021 was good stuff. So if we're judging him world breaker, we're only judging him by this one trade. Right? So we're judging him by one trade, not his body of work. Right? So I mean, take that for what it's worth. Let's get one more phone call, y'all, before I end it. Let me get one more. But he also picked up Christian Wood and JaVale McGee, and neither of them worked out because of kid. I wouldn't say it was because of kid. You can't play JaVale McGee with Luka. Luka requires shoot. Like Maxi Kleber got more playing time than JaVale McGee because Maxi Kleber is a shooter that can spread the floor for Luka. Of course, Luka needs screen setters and rollers and lob threats, but he would love for those. I like JaVale McGee just wasn't that because he's played so much championship basketball with the Warriors and other places. Like he know what championship stuff is, right? So he was complaining about the way they was playing. So that just didn't work with Luka. And Christian Woods wanted the ball similar to like Porzingis did, so that didn't work either. So J Kidd actually promised JaVale McGee playing time, and that's why JaVale McGee signed with the Mavs. So it wasn't J Kidd that was keeping JaVale McGee on the bench. It was the fact that we can only run a certain offense with Luka, and we just can't do it with JaVale. Derek, what's up, partner? What's good?
What's going on, man? I wasn't gonna call in, but I was like, shoot, might as well. Don't nobody else want to call in and talk to you, so I thought I'd go ahead and jump in. So
Appreciate
I got
you.
some inside, got some inside information in regards to kind of like the Dallas like whole situation. I thought that they should have waited at least another year fully to have a healthy Kyrie as well as a healthy AD and see what else they can do over the trade deadline and over the summer before they decide to let go of Nico. A lot of the fans are more upset, not for the simple fact that we got AD, it's the fact that they got rid of kind of that hope in Luka. They want Luka to be the next Dirk. They want him to be a forever Mavs guy, win the championship, maybe two here, and they got a taste of that prior to like the whole the whole trade happening. And so when they felt like they had that and then it got snatched away from them, they didn't like that. And that's coming from people who literally are season ticket holders that I talk to, that I play ball with here in Dallas. And that's really like the lay of the land of what they're thinking. What they're not seeing is the bigger picture of this man ain't good for basketball when you look at the grand scheme of things. He's LeBron 2.0 without the athleticism. He wants the exact same type of calls LeBron gets. And even if he doesn't get touched, he still looks for somebody to foul him or for the referees to bail him out. So it's so much that happens within his game alone that messes up the flow of everybody else. And it's very, very like Luka-centric in his style of play.
Yeah, I agree 100%, man. And everybody who's butthurt about him getting traded because they had this dream of him being the Dirk of the franchise and being a forever guy, they just wasn't looking at basketball. Like, dude, like it like you said, he was just bad basketball wise, man. Like as far as selling tickets and selling jerseys and being a franchise guy and being a franchise favorite and all that stuff. Yeah, he was good for business, good for money. But if you want to win basketball games and championships, man, he was not the guy. Not being a good defender and being somebody's team leader is not ideal for a championship. Not being in shape first and foremost and all the time is not good for your best player and ideal for a championship. It's just not. He was just a bad investment for rings, right? But maybe a good investment for money. Good investment for money. So it is what it is. And the crazy thing is, he's been a favorite to win MVP every preseason since 4 years ago, and every year he's he's not even in the top 5. So imagine every. No, I'm dead serious. Imagine every expert predicting that you're going to get an MVP for the last 5 years, and by the time the All-Star break comes here, you're not even in the race no more because of 3 things.
Let's not forget.
Go ahead.
Let's not forget he's in shape now. So now all of a sudden,
and that was a lie.
Gonna be different.
But look, and that was a lie. He's not in
Agreed.
shape. He's in the same shape. We got tricked again this summer with them AI videos. Them AI pictures of him. It was always still pictures. That was never like a video. It was always filters and AI pictures of him. Him being skinny Luka. He's still big Luka.
They had it to where you could see his triceps and everything in these pictures. I'm like, that man ain't seen the tricep unless it's a bicuspid from a steak.
I still ain't seen them triceps I seen from the picture this summer. So and listen. Out of all the MVP candidates right now, I've been doing my, I've been watching the MVP race pretty good. Out of all the MVP candidates, if Luka is a candidate, he's not a candidate anymore for me. But if he's still a candidate, he's the only one who's missed 4 games. Giannis has missed 1 game, and Wemby, SGA, and Jokic has missed 0 games. So between Jokic, Giannis, SGA, and Cade Cunningham, that's 4 guys. All of those put together, Luka has missed more games than all of them.
That's crazy.
Already.
That's crazy. Think about it though. He's having the exact same injuries now that he did when he was here. Lower leg, lower extremities, something wrong with his calf, something wrong with his hamstring, something wrong with his ankle.
Facts.
It's not getting better for him. Like, he's getting heavier, and for him to not be as explosive, like, he's not getting off the ground often for a lot of these shots and stuff that he's taking, but yet he's always having lower leg injuries. That's not a good sign for a basketball player.
It's not. And especially somebody so long. And if you look at his legs, they're like tree trunks, man. They're like, they're like elephant. Like he's doing greyhound activities on elephant legs. He's doing greyhound activities on elephant legs, dog. Come on, man. Man, and he got his calf wrapped right now, and every single time he hits the ground or runs fast, he comes up lame or limping. I'm like, man, come on, dog. Like, he's not gonna make it, man. The Mavs knew something we don't know. And we go see it within 2 years. I guarantee you.
Yeah. It's gonna be something else that happens. There's gonna be another shoe that drops at the end of the day. Like, we're not done hearing this whole Luka thing, and eventually the Mavs gonna come out and be like, we tried to tell y'all this, but we couldn't because of some type of hush deal we had going on behind closed doors until now.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be on a 30 for 30, man. But thanks for the call, Derek.
Yes, sir. Take it easy, man. I'll keep listening.
All right, no doubt.
Yeah.
Orlando, call back. You'll be the last caller. Orlando, call back. So this is my MVP race so far. That number 2 slot between Giannis and Jokic is it's gonna be key. But I think SGA is a lock right now, best record in the league. 2-way player, top 3 in scoring. I mean, it's just a lot to like with that, but I have to give Jokic credit for leading a top 3 offense and a top 3 defense, even though he's not leading the defense, but he's the leader of the team. So I gotta give him credit for that. That's just how I do it. So 2 and 3 is a debate, but I got SGA at 1. Caller from Orlando, what happened to your phone? Was that mine or yours?
No, hey, Mel, first off, happy Veterans Day, from one veteran to another, but that was me. I had you in an earpiece, and I kind of adjusted it, and it kind of hung up on you by accident, so I apologize.
Oh, okay, no doubt. Yeah, and thanks for your service, bro.
But I was saying, you told me people couldn't hear me. I was saying I didn't disagree with the trade that Nico made, honestly, because it wasn't a terrible trade in my opinion. And I was thinking of the health and the potential if healthy. So I was like, I see it, I like it. And they got Kyrie as their leader. Most people they give Kyrie a bad shake. I'm like, for whatever reason, they go with the flow and criticize people with whatever. But I was like, I see it, I understand it. Like you said, if AR was in the trade, it would have been a much better trade. You know, but I necessarily didn't think it was a bad trade at all. Now, like we see in present day, it ain't working out. He's obviously fired. I say, well, I mean, who didn't see that coming? Who didn't see it coming?
Yeah, and but then again, when you think about bringing AR over there, AR with Kyrie in the backcourt, like they really was going defense. Like they really wanted defenders, especially after they just seen what Boston did to them. And when you see OKC how they won their championship, I mean, who don't want to follow that trend and get some defenders who can also score and also play multiple positions and surround it around a dominant score like SGA? Like who don't want to do that? So I understand the move,
that's just beautiful basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's beautiful basketball.
It is, and they probably looked at AR and was like, "Nah, you don't fit the what we trying to do." So maybe AR could have been in the trade, and maybe Dallas didn't want him. They wanted Max Christie instead. So look, the vision is the vision, but this is worse for the Dallas fans if your owner, your coach, and your GM was all aligned with moving toward better defenders all over the floor. And that was the vision. And then the guy who was going to carry that vision out was Nico, and now you fire him. So whoever is going to be the GM next, he might have a whole different vision.
And all that's going to do is just put him on the timeline, just like it did Nico.
Correct.
Because it's like now you got to get everybody to buy into that program. And then if those players don't like what's going on or the foreseeable future, then it's like, well, you got to get them in line or you gone too. And it's like,
and you know what?
I gotta pick up the trash from the last guy.
Yeah, and you know what that does? That puts J Kidd on the chopping blocks, because what if the GM and J Kidd ain't seeing the same vision? Now the GM, now the GM got to get a coach that sees how he wants to build a team, and it might not be J Kidd. And then once you start doing stuff like that, you're gonna lose AD, you're gonna lose Kyrie, you're gonna lose all of that. We all want out.
I mean, they basically lost AD already.
Yeah, pretty much.
Health wise,
they might as well just go ahead and sell everything and start over with Cooper Flag.
Everything must go. I heard they trying to trade fans for all we know. They trying to trade fans for players for all we know.
Yeah, man.
I'll say this. If I don't understand why what general managers, for whatever reason, why don't they go watch the 2000 Spurs and try to, build their team as far as ball movement, discipline? Like, why don't you just look at, because to me, that is one of the best blueprints for basketball.
Absolutely.
Is that Greg Popovich 2000 era Spurs. That's some of the best basketball you're going to ever watch.
Absolutely.
As far as star player, defense, role players, team camaraderie, everything. You get everything in that era of basketball from Greg Popovich and that Spurs team. Absolutely. I just don't understand why it's not really mimicked like that. Like the Thunder kind of played like that a little bit, but then obviously once it got to the crunch time, they was like, SGA, go make a play. Go get us, take us home.
Correct.
Indiana, they play a faster paced type of style like that, but I like the way they play from time to time. They was unpredictable, but so that's all I had to say on it. I didn't see it as terrible moves by Nico. It didn't muster out because of health and other things. It just didn't muster out for him. So
yeah, I agree, man. Appreciate the call though, bro.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for giving me a second chance, man. Keep doing your thing. Love the show. My first time calling in, so keep doing big moves, brother.
All right, don't make it your last, man. Good call. All right, let's get to this super chat. Is that Slick Rick or Silk Rick? I got 20/20 vision. Oh, that's a Slick Rick. Thanks for the super chat. I can eventually deal with losing players on stars or stars on the team, but if we lost a basketball team that means so much more to the city, I would be devastated. Oh, so you must be from Dallas or at least from Texas. Yeah. Yeah, the DuPonts, man. That's the rumor, man. I don't know what they saying at the on the radio stations down there where you from, Slick Rick, but that's a real possible thing they looking into. Like these new owners really thinking about moving the squad, and I think that'd be definitely a travesty. If that was the case, they should have just tried to get an expansion team in Vegas. But moving a team from Dallas to Vegas, like that's insane, dog. That's insane work. Hope it don't happen. But you know, WNBA got the same type of stuff going on. They got franchises that's established that the new ownership want to move to Boston for some reason. Out of all places, let's move it to Boston. I'm like, why? You know, I forget what team it was, but it's one of those teams they trying to move to Boston. You know, so yeah, that's it, y'all, man. I got in here, man. Give y'all that news on Nico. Tell y'all what I thought about it. Y'all probably see me again tonight. You know, it's Veterans Day, so I ain't doing much of nothing. So I probably have a show produced for y'all later on tonight. And then y'all definitely go see us on Friday with the full panel. And y'all can't forget about us on Sunday for our NFL Blitz, man, when we get into all football. So y'all got to come shout us out and check us out on Sundays as well. But yeah, I think I got to get in here and talk about some other stuff, man, because I want to talk about the MVP race again. I want to talk about somebody asked me about Cade Cunningham, what I thought about his performance last night. Man, dude, they went to overtime. Dude played 44 minutes. He shot the ball 45 times. He missed 31 shots and finished with 46 points. I'm not a stickler on field goal percentage and how many shots you take to get how many points you are, you know, if it's not a habit, right? So like a superstar who normally shoots the ball well have a bad game. What I would like to see is them shoot themselves out of the slump because the team need you to be a gunner. Now, you know, I'm not a hater of shot hogs. If it's going to help your team, if you shoot your team out of the game and y'all get blowed out because you're not sharing the ball and you're a shot hog, then I complain. But if ain't nothing going for y'all and they're looking to you like, man, you got to help us get out of this funk we in. We're on the back end of the back-to-back. Ain't nobody got their legs under them. You are a star player. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to empty my clip. I'm going to empty the bullets, and we're going to figure out a way to get a win. I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to rebound. I'm going to pass. I'm going to distribute. I'm going to score. I'm going to defend. I'm going to do all these things. We go good out a win. And you shoot horribly like Cade Cunningham did tonight, I'm okay with it. If Cade Cunningham makes that a habit because that's just how he play, then I'm a little bit bothered. But I still ain't going to say much if you're winning, right? So when, like all the things that I disagree with, as far as basketball, in my opinion, if you win, I got to shut the fuck up. Like, I can't complain about what you do, even if it's Luka. I can't complain much about how you play if you keep pulling out wins. I got to shut up and say, okay, hey, I don't like it, but you won. That's all I care about. I don't know how you winning by not playing no defense, but you won. Right? So I got to shut up if you're winning. They pulled the win out. I'm not going to comfort him for taking 45 shots. He took 45 shots, dog. Took some free throws, 15, 16 free throws. He hit all those, right? George said, I be capping for players I like. Who said I like Cade? That's not one player in the NBA I like. I don't know. I got to keep explaining to y'all LeBron fans, I don't like the men that play basketball. I like basketball. Like, I like basketball, not the men that play. Y'all like the men that play. People like George, the Truth Hurts. You like, it's somebody in the basketball league that you like. It's somebody that's tickling your fancy. I don't have one of those. I don't have a boo thing. I don't have a crush. I'm not no one's secret admirer. I don't follow these guys on Twitter and DM them. I don't call them king. I don't call them champ. I don't call them none of that. I don't like these dudes. Right. So no, I'm not capping for Cade Cunningham. This is my true thoughts about everybody. If you win the game, it's not much to complain about. But if there's an outlier of you taking a lot of shots to get a lot of points, he took a lot of shots to get a lot of points. Right. Enough said. Right. But I watched the game. I watched the fourth quarter and overtime. I like Detroit. They didn't have Sir Thompson last night, but I like the way they play. They love defense. There was a clip of a couple of games ago of someone scoring in the paint on Durant. I think Durant kind of helped, and then the guy he helped off of got the ball and finished, at the rim. Durant didn't get there in time enough to contest, but Sir Thompson was there and could have fouled him and put him to the free throw line. Instead, he let him get their point. Durant went the hell off on them. They called a timeout. They continued to go off on each other, going to the bench, and all he was really telling him is pretty much, dude, we're not giving up no layups. You can't take plays off, all of this stuff. We going off on them. And then after they finished talking, they both dapped each other up and came back out there to play. I like to see that. I like to see that. George, the truth hurts. You might like Jalen Duran, but I like to see the exchange between those two players. You might like the dude though. It's very different what I'm trying to explain. I'm explaining that I like to see that from athletes and players because they're showing me that they're working through how they built their team and what they're going to be about. I like to see that, but you might like Duran. You might like I don't know. You might like something about his skin or something. I don't know. You might like his muscles or whatever. I just like what he did, right? So I like basketball. Remember that. But so Detroit, I like what they're doing. Number one in the East right now. I think what are they? 9-2. Yeah, they're 9-2. Number one team in the East. Second best team in the league. OKC Thunder is 10-1, number one team on the West and number one team in the league. So my playoff, or not my playoff, but my MVP ladder has changed. It hasn't changed much though. Let me see if I can put this on screen. I got SGA 1, I got Giannis 2, I got Jokic 3 still. And that 4 and 5 with Cade and Wemby is a conversation. Wemby also had a big night last night, coming back against the Bulls, who was just a couple of games ago the number one team in the East. But they've dropped 2 straight, and last night was a big one. And Wemby looked good, and he took over in the fourth quarter. Man, 2 straight threes, one to tie it up and one to take the lead with like 15, 16 seconds left. Hey, it was something to watch, dog. To see a 7'6" guy with time going down on the clock, wave everybody off. I don't want no screen. Waved everybody off the way Jordan did against Utah when he hit that game winner over Byron Russell. He told everybody, and I stayed, no screen. Don't come over here, no screen. I don't want nobody to double me and make me get a ball up. Don't even bring no screen. He's got a 5-man on him. He's got Vucevic on him. A legit 6'10", 6'11" on him. But that's nothing against 6'5" or 7'5". I'm sorry. Nothing against 7'5". He got him at the top of the key on an island. And he's going one-on-one. Let the clock run down, and then he goes into the dribble. He goes through his legs a little bit, plays with it, and then he jabs right and crossed over so quick, going back left. Vucevic did the stanking leg a little bit, and by the time Wemby got up to the apex to pull that jump shot from the top of the key at the 3, Vucevic was trying to contest 4 feet away. He didn't get nowhere near that man. And it was bottoms. They up 3, and that was the game. Yeah, so those are MVP performances. I like stuff like that, right? George, the truth hurts. You might like Wemby though. You might like when he say we and speak that French in your ear. You might like that. I like what Wemby did. You might like Wemby though, right? So that's a big difference. I wanted to get that out there really quick. But JP said Mel is biased when it comes to his favorite player. I don't have favorite players. You might be another nigga that want LeBron to come. First of all, he not gonna let you clap, JP. He's not gonna. I don't know why y'all keep trying to project on me like I like dudes that play basketball. LeBron's not gonna let you clap, dog. Give it up. Savannah got him. He's not gonna let you clap. The Diddy parties are no longer. Diddy's locked up. The Diddy oil is not on sale no more. Y'all got to stop projecting, man. Y'all gotta stop projecting. He said my favorite players. Listen, let me ask you this. I have a criteria for MVP. Right? And it's based on what matters most in basketball. And I value the things that matter most in basketball. So if I put the formula together and say offensive value, defensive value, and team success is how I judge my MVP races, what does this have to do with my favorite player? Right? This has nothing to do with my favorite player. Offensive value, defensive value, team success. That's very simple. It applies across the board to everybody. I'm not changing my criteria based on the year or who my favorite player is. That's what other people do. They criteria change every year based on who their favorite player is and what they did that year. I'm not changing my criteria. What did I get this criteria from? The guy who they named the freaking trophy after, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the GOAT. Right? So the things I value are simple. If you see in red brackets in 87, 88, Michael Jordan played 82 games. First and foremost, I want my players in my MVP race to be available. Right. So whoever is the most available would get consideration for the award. Right. But that's not all I look at. I also want my guy to be a very, if not elite, or very capable, willing defender. Right. Michael Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year in the 87, 88 year. That was his first MVP. So he played all 82 games. His teams was successful. They won games. He played defense, and he was the scoring champ. He got the scoring title. So I want you to be elite scorer, elite defender, play all 82 games, and I want your team to be successful. That's all I ask for in the MVP race. I don't care how you show me offensive value for your team, as long as the offensive value is leading to team success, as long as your defensive value is leading to team success, and as long as you're playing in all the games. That's what I value. Right? The Jordan trophy, the MVP trophy is named after Michael Jordan. I think the award should have something to do with what he stood for. Right? But even if you don't even look at it that way, basketball values those things. Basketball values that the best player is available. Basketball values that the best player play defense and also be an elite scorer. You have to do those things for your team. So when I do something like that, when I show you something like that, and then I show you my MVP ladder, which let me pull up the MVP ladder, and I show you Giannis has played 8 out of 9 games, right? So okay, good. SGA played 10 out of 10. Jokic played 9 out of 9. Cade played 9 out of 9. Wemby played 9 out of 9, and then you see the Lakers have played 10 games, and Luka has only played 6 of them. One of those things is not like the other, right? When you see those names, Giannis, elite defender. When you see SGA, elite defender. Cade Cunningham, very good defender. Wemby, elite defender. And then you see Jokic, who's below average defender. One of those things are not like the other, just like Luka. And Luka is a liability on defense, not just a below average. Jokic is below average, but Luka's a liability. At least Jokic ain't a liability. Luka's a liability. What does this have to do with who I like? It don't have anything to do with who I like. All right, caller from Dayton. What's up?
What's going on, Mel?
What's popping, man?
First time I've been able to catch you live. Most of the time I've been following you, I've had to watch the rebroadcast of your show, and I love it. You're probably the only sports talk show that I watch, podcast show that I watch on a regular. But man, Mel, I'll be so glad when LeBron is gone, man. You know, I'm a Laker fan. I've been following the Lakers since I was high school, and it's never been this bad. Never ever. The whole thing with Bronny and all that has been a joke. But I don't want to get too much involved in that. But I'm just telling you, I try to watch some of the games. It's hard for me to watch now because the 3-ball is such a big deal now. And basketball that I grew up watching is not like it used to be. And it's really hard for me to watch. I try to tune in. I'll watch Golden State. I'll watch some of the other teams, although I like the Lakers. I think we're playing better without LeBron in the game right now. Reeves and a couple other players look pretty good. But I'm telling you, Mel, it's hard for me to watch this stuff, man. Yeah, honestly, it's hard.
Have you ever? So you, and I appreciate you, supporting the show and watching the way you do, and thanks for your call in today. But here's my question: you said you ready for LeBron to go. When you do know you got LeBron Jr. in the house with Luka, right?
Oh my God! Oh my God! I don't know the answer to that, but I do know that I think we're going to look better when LeBron retires, and he doesn't have such control over the dynamic of what the team does, him and JJ. But I'm gonna still support my team. It's just going to be at some point, the dynamic of the whole way that they play has to change.
I agree. But that's not that's not gonna change with Luka. Like everywhere, Luka has went through multiple coaches in Dallas. Now he's in LA, and JJ Redick tried to play a certain way last year, and he admitted that he realized his way of coaching is gonna have to adjust to what players he have on his roster. And I knew he was talking about Luka when he said that, but this is before the season, so I said, shoot, they're going back to Luka-ball, and sure enough. They came out, man. I watched the game. I seen Luka bring the ball up. I every time he brought the ball up, the only thing I was watching was the shot clock. I want to see how long he's going to keep the ball. And most possessions, he kept the ball until the shot went up. I mean, the shot clock would be at like 5, and Luka has still got the ball in his hands, looking for a shot.
And Mel, that has been my biggest issue with LeBron. He holds the ball, dribble. Everybody's standing around corner. And I'm like, then if he's not able to get his shot off, now he's wanting someone else to make the shot.
Correct.
With seconds left on the clock. Luka's the same way. He dominates the ball. Get out of the way. Let me do my thing. Because I'm gonna shoot 30, 40 times a game.
Correct.
The ball's not moving. The best basketball I've seen from the Lakers recently was when Luka was on the bench, LeBron was on the bench. I can't remember, somebody else was sitting. The ball was moving. We were winning games without them.
Austin Reeves was giving you the same 39 and 9 that Luka was giving you. But it was right. The ball was moving. So AR without Luka and LeBron, all he needed was Rui Hachimura and whoever, DeAndre Ayton. That's all he needed. Luka needs AR and everybody else. And without AR, you seen what happened when he played the Hawks. They was down by like 38 at one point.
Yep.
it's starting to look like AR might be better than Luka.
I like Reeves.
I do too.
He play hard, both ends. He passes the ball. If you open, he's gonna give it up. So, the culture has to change somewhat in LA. I don't know when. I don't know when the culture of the game is going to change within the NBA itself. I watched basketball back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. All this kissing and hugging after a game after you lose. I'm like, Mel, I played street ball. I never hug on players after I lose. Man, I'm trying to beat you.
So
these players out here, man.
I say this though.
After a game, they kissing, hugging, getting each other's jerseys and stuff.
I get it. Look, I want to butt in a little bit on that though, right?
Go ahead, man.
I'm torn between that because the competitor of me thinks the same way that you just described. But when I think about the bigger picture and I think about what it means to be a black man in America, I would rather see us doing, I would rather see us praying together after the game than freaking hating each other guts the way Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan hate each other guts. You get what I'm saying?
You're right.
I would, so it's hard for me to pick which one my heart would go to. Yeah. But I'm okay with them not treating us like gladiators and pitting us against each other so much that we can't even do business together after basketball. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Because we really go need one another when stuff get really bad in America, which I can see it coming, and we can't have no division amongst us, dog. So I kind of like that more than I like what Isaiah and Mike was doing to each other. However, I will say this: when we're talking just basketball, I have to give more credit to the guys who thought like Isaiah and Mike than the guys who think like the guys now, just on the basketball standpoint of it. But off the court, I like this better.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe I'm thinking overthinking it. It's too much of that. But like you said, after the game, there has to be some camaraderie with players off the floor where they're not.
I mean, remember the basketball court is just the chessboard, and
that's it.
And we're the chess pieces, and you got to think about the guys who's moving the chess pieces. I don't want them to be able to manipulate us because we're emotional about wanting to beat each other for a trophy that I get paid enough to go buy myself. I can go buy every ring that the owners buy me. If I win a championship, I can lose the championship and go buy that same ring. And there's a lot of players who pawn those rings 5 years later for money. So at the end of the day, like they making us out there on the chessboard hate each other like gladiator sport for a freaking ring and a legacy that they can erase. Just like they erase Kyrie, they almost erase Kyrie Irving's legacy. Like they control everything.
They did, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't like them to move us as chess pieces like that, man. So yeah, I'm torn between that one, bro.
Yeah, I get it, Mel. I agree. Maybe because I grew up watching that so much, back in the Detroit days, and when the physicality was what physical is today was just a normal foul back then. And I guess I'm looking at it in that dynamic as far as physicality. And players just wanted to win, would compete no matter what. I think I'm looking at it like that, Mel.
Yeah.
But yeah, your point is 100. You're 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Man, I appreciate
it.
Go ahead.
Mel, I'm going to continue watching the live because this is the first time I'll be able to be able to catch you live. I've been watching your rebroadcast on YouTube.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Hey, Mel, you have a blessed day, man. And a happy Turkey Day, coming up. And God bless you and your family.
Absolutely. Same to you, bro. God bless.
Okay.
All right. Solo Serenity said, I love your show, period, man. You keep the stuff real. When I want the truth in the NBA, I come to you, just like when I want the truth in the news, I go to Roland Martin. Shout out to Roland Martin. You both the best. I appreciate that, man. Steven Jackson, Mel is always cooking the truth on the NBA. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the super chat. Let me see if I can get to some more comments before I get out of here. Somebody asked me what's the criteria for the MVP for the NBA. That was Rich Dog. The NBA don't have a criteria. As a matter of fact, I've listened to people who have votes like Chris Broussard and dang, what's the other guy that got a vote? I can't remember. But Chris Broussard, Bill Simmons, guys like that. I've heard them talk about it, and they all say we don't have a criteria. Everyone has a different one that's personal to them. So let's say you have about, I don't know, was it like 105 voters? Maybe 200. Let's say you got 200 voters. They all media members and, whatever the case may be. They don't have a guideline from the NBA saying, hey, these are the things that we value. Use this as a guide to choose your MVP. The NBA don't provide none of that, right? I was in the military and we gave out awards every quarter. And then at the end of the year, we gave out end of the year awards, right? These awards was very important toward you advancing and stuff like that. If you get these awards, Sailor of the Year, Sailor of the Quarter, things of that nature, it could mean you advancing to the next rank. It's very important, right? So we took the award board serious enough to have instruction just on how we supposed to do the awards. And this instruction came from all the way to the top, going to DC. The heavy brass up at DC, they come up, hey, this is what we valuing. And they'll tell you what they value. We value how you lead your sailors. We value their accomplishments. We value your accomplishments. We value whatever your job is, how well you do that. They're telling you what they value and what we're supposed to look for. And then they also, inside of their instruction, give you a grading sheet, right? Hey, based on all of these things that we said we value, what do you grade this player or this person or this sailor, right? What do you grade them? And then we pick an awards board, or we pick the award board members, and it might be 5 to 6 members of leadership at the command you work at. And they all get in one room. We all get packages, pretty much like a resume for each candidate. You get nominated by your supervisor and they have to write a package for each candidate telling us how they qualify for the award based on the instruction that was written by the White House, right? And we have to go through those packages and grade them on the grade sheet. And then after we grade them, we compare notes. You might have graded them at a 50. I might have graded them at a 48. You might have graded them at 47. Like, we all got different grades. And then we bring them in to personally see them in their uniform, how well groomed they are, how shaved they are, how good their uniform look, how shiny their boots are, how well you marched in, how well you did your salute, how well you said the sailor's creed. And then we ask you questions. Right. And then we grade you on your answers on how you actually, and then we tally all of that up. And then boom, there's the points right there. Based on 5 different board members that graded your package and 5 different board members that graded you in person and your answers to the questions. And then we got to give all of that to our commanding officer or our master chief in charge. And we say, here's the objective quality evidence that we didn't cheat the system. Here's everything in writing on how we graded these sailors, and this is our results. And they look at it and be like, okay, I concur or I don't. Like, they can look at it and say, oh, hell no. It's something fishy going on. How did this person not get this grade on it? You're going to say it can be like that. But it's all transparent, and it's all transparent from beginning to the end. Like, we know what we're looking for. We know how we got the grades. And we know the end results. Everything is transparent. The NBA don't have that. And it might be on purpose because they like all the chatter and the noise of people debating about it during the year, right? So that might be the reason why they want it to be just loosey-goosey like this. Because if they make it more direct, then, it won't be too much debate about it, which means you lose a little bit of traction around the league with people talking about it. You know, like it's big business and snubbing people and not being transparent and people being confused about certain things, and like you get more conversation out of that, right? So that might be what they really want. But I say all that to say this: if the NBA came down and said, "What do you value?" and I think it's very simple in basketball, the most valuable thing in the game is winning. So number one, the most valuable thing is winning. So for the most prestigious award, the MVP, the most valuable player, whatever you do has to go toward the number one thing, which is winning. So if Jokic averaging a triple-double leads him to 55 wins, and SGA leading league in scoring and being an elite defender leads his team to 65 wins, 65 wins is more than 55 wins. So the ends justify the means, and the wins validate your efforts. If your efforts is a lot, but it's leading to less wins than what I got, then I'm not going to value your efforts over his efforts. Obviously, playing elite defense and scoring at an elite level equates to more wins than averaging a triple-double. Like Jokic is averaging 24 points. SGA is averaging 34 points. SGA is averaging 6 assists. Jokic is averaging 12 assists. SGA plays elite defense. Jokic plays below average defense. Which one are you valuing more if one led to more wins? My best player plays elite defense and scores elite level. That's better than my best player averaging a triple-double and playing below average defense. That's simple. The ends justify the means. Whenever Jokic and Denver win more games than OKC and SGA, then I change my thought process on what that triple-double is actually equating to and what it's doing. But until then, just because you averaging triple-double doesn't mean I got to honor it more than an elite defender and an elite scorer. Right? So, number one is winning. Right? How do you win? Well, the team that scores the most points wins the game 100% of the time. So the second most important thing is scoring. My best player scores 34 points a game. Your best player scores 24. Right? If we add in the assists, okay, cool. Let's add in the assists. 12 assists leads to 24 points at least. But assist means I help you score. You didn't score. You assisted a score. So whatever skill set that scorer has, if it's MPJ, they can hit threes. You passed it to MPJ. His skill set contributed to 50% of those 2 points or those 3 points, which means I can only give you half credit for it. So if the Jokic averaged 12 assists right now and that leads to 24 points, I'm only giving you credit for 12 points. That's half of it. So your 24 points plus your 12 points, if I add that up, that's giving you 20, that's 30, that's 36, right? Hold on. 24 and 12, 20, 30, 36. That's 36, right? 36. SGA is already averaging 34 points with 6 assists equaling to 12 points. So I'm only giving you half credit. So that's 6 points. So 34 points plus 6, that's 40. 40 is more than 36. So SGA is really contributing to more scoring than Jokic. But the only thing is we think the triple-double is sexy, so we think that's better than what SGA is doing. 34 points and 6 assists is better than 24 points and 12 assists. It just is, right? I just proved it, right? So, and then plus it's leading to more wins. That's obvious, right? What's the third most important thing? Well, if winning is the most important thing and the way we win is by scoring the most points, what's another way that we score the most points? Well, stopping the other team from scoring. So defense and stopping your man is the other most important thing in basketball. So winning, scoring, and defending. SGA is an elite defender. Jokic is an average defender or below average defender. So it's a no-brainer. The player who scores the most points for his team, the player who leads his team to more wins, and the player who's playing elite defense is always going to be better than a player with less wins, less points scored, and no defense. How is it even possible that we're going to overlook the fact that SGA won 10 more games than Denver last year, scored more points than Jokic, and defended at a high level when Jokic didn't? How are we going to overlook all of that because of a triple-double? George the True Sir said SGA doesn't play elite defense. That's cap. He plays good defense, but not elite. So the NBA has a thing called evidence, right? And Google can help you find that, George. And if you Google first and second team all defense, they're going to show you who the first and second team all defense is, and they're going to show you how many votes they got to make that list. There's a first team all NBA, second team, and third team all NBA, but there's only 2 all defensive teams. That's not 3 defensive teams. There should be 3, but there's only 2. When you look at those 10 guys who made first and second team all NBA and how many votes they got, I want you to go and look and see who got the 11th most votes, which means if there was a third team, he would have been the first guy on that third team. His name is SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Guess who didn't get no votes for any all defensive team? Nikola Jokic. Right? So if being the 11th best defender by the votes in the league, being top 11 out of 450 players is not elite, then I don't know what is. I don't know what is. I mean, because are we going to say first and second team is not elite? So the first 10 is elite. What is number 11, George? So you gay and dumb. I mean, I don't just be talking out of the side of my neck, dog. SGA got the 11th most votes for a first team. I mean, for all defensive team. Jokic didn't get none. Luka didn't get none. So my point is, and we know just by looking at the tape in the film that SGA is a better defender than Jokic. Out of all the people that's in the MVP race, right? If you don't like the word elite, George, if you don't like the word elite, there's Giannis, SGA, Jokic, K, Wemby, and you can add Luka. And I want you to tell me, where does Jokic rank as a defender out of all those names? Like, there's no way SGA could have the most wins in the entire league and score the most points in the entire league and be an elite defender, and you consider somebody else for MVP. Like, there's no way. Like, how's that even possible? How's that possible? Okay, so he said Jokic would be last next to Luka. I agree. So you're agreeing with me that Giannis, SGA, K, Cunningham, and Wemby are all better defenders than Jokic. So even if you don't like the word elite, we at least can rack and stack and rank them and say SGA is a better defender than Jokic. Boom. So he got that check mark. SGA is a better scorer than Jokic. He scored more. Check. Got that box. SGA is a better winner than Jokic. He got more wins last year. Check. Got that mark. And that trend continues to this season. SGA still has the most wins, still has the most points, and still has the better defense. How is it possible anybody can be considering Jokic for MVP over SGA? How is that possible? Jokic can't even be considered over Giannis right now. Well, as a matter of fact, the only argument Jokic got over Giannis right now is Giannis is 6-4, and Jokic is I want to say 6-3 or 7-3. I think Denver has won one more game than Milwaukee. Scott said any team could have a triple-double guy. Let him dribble up the court, dominate the ball for 18 seconds, and shoot or pass and get an assist. No champion has come from a triple-double year. Absolutely true. So many, I mean, I love the fact that I keep repeating this, and so many people are understanding this now, that they can actually say these things and be absolutely confident that it's true. The evidence is there. I feel for Kyrie, man. Seems like he's stuck in another Brooklyn Nets ownership situation. A bunch of incompetence. Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Without Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks is giving Josiah, and I guarantee you the type of GM they're about to bring in and replace Nico is going to be a Sean Marks type GM. That's a daggone good point. He said he's not an elite defender. Well, I mean, that's a weird argument to try to have because elite wasn't even the most important thing. The fact that he's better and head and shoulders better than Jokic as a defender actually wins the argument for why he should be considered MVP over Jokic. Right. So I mean that's the real thing. The real thing is SGA is rightfully at the number one spot. If Jokic want to get in this MVP race and be the lead of it, he's got to win more games than OKC, and he's got to play defense at the level that SGA played. At least give me good to great if you want to get in this conversation. Because right now your defense is a red flag. It doesn't exist. It's not there. Right? Like, do what you're supposed to do. I went to my daughter's volleyball game last night. And there was a lot of tall girls on the floor. And in volleyball, one of the things that the tall players are supposed to do for you is, number one, on offense, they want you to spike the ball. You know, they want you to be able to play above the net, spike that ball, right? When they bump, set, spike. But on defense, you all supposed to, like at the net, a tall person in volleyball, when other players try to spike, we rely on the tall person to defend the net and block some of those spikes. Right? So everywhere you go, tall people are used to do tall people things. Right? If I was an animal in the jungle, I would expect a giraffe to be able to get fruit from the highest tree to help us out. Right? You're tall for a reason. So in basketball, it's the same thing. A tall 7-footer is supposed to help protect the net, protect the paint. So when someone's coming in the paint, I expect my 7-footer to be like, nope, you can't come down here. You should be afraid to drive on a 7-footer because he's going to block it, or he's going to inflict some pain on you trying to block it. Right? Shaq will put fear in people because he'll make you pay coming in there. If he don't block it, you go feel him. Right? As a 7-footer, Jokic is not providing rim protection at the net or in the paint. So I hate when his fans, when I be like, Jokic is not a good defender, dog. And they say, but he's getting 2 steals a game. Who the fuck want him to do monkey work? You're a giraffe. You're supposed to be protecting the net. I got hyenas to do this groundwork down here. I don't even want you to be getting steals like that. And furthermore, when you watch the games and you see, it's not like Jokic is locking somebody up, like he done switched on the screen on the guard and he locked somebody up and he picking pockets. That's not what he's doing. What he's doing is when he's playing free safety on defense, you know, just playing a area while everyone else kind of zones up to protect him, because if we allow penetration, we know the layup is going to be easy. It's going to be a dunk. Jokic is going to let you score. He's providing no rim protection. So what happens is they got a scheme of defense around Jokic where they kind of zone everybody up. And a lot of times when these guys are trying to dribble through this, somebody is like stripping the ball and punching it, and Jokic just be sitting right there in the middle to just catch the steal. And his fans are not watching the game to see how he getting those steals. They're like, other players are playing good defense and poking the ball away, and it's falling in Jokic's hand because he's just standing there in the middle, guarding the area, almost zoned up like a free safety. And he's getting 2 of those a game, And when people see it on the stat sheet and be like, Jokic gets 2 steals, he's a good defender. Get the fuck out of here. The film work show you he can't defend. The first thing about defense is you have to be able to stop a man in front of you with the ball. So if a man is in front of you, how well can you stop him from getting to the rim? That's the first thing. Jokic is not good at that. The second thing, you're a 7-footer. Can you protect the rim? Jokic don't jump. Jokic probably jumps 4 times a game, and it ain't never on defense. He only jumps when he flops, like a fish out of water. That's when he jumped. That's the most athletic I've seen him when he's flopping. Feet leaving the floor just flopping. But on defense, he just watching you go by like this. Go get the layup. His best defense is as soon as you get that layup, I'm gonna take the ball and throw it to my teammate so he can throw it back to me so I can run my fat ass up for a fat break. Not a fast break, a fat break. That's what he does. And y'all bought it. Y'all bought it. Y'all fooled by it. Y'all think this dude playing defense because he get 2 steals a game. That's not defense, dog. That's been in the right place at the right time while your other teammates play defense and poke the ball out and it fall in your hand. Y'all are insane. This is insane work. Y'all know good and well this man don't play defense. I was talking to somebody on one of my posts last night, and he said saying Jokic don't play defense is false. He averages 2 steals a game. I said, bro, do you think Jokic is a good defender? No. Do you think he's a better defender than SGA? No. Out of all the guys that's in the MVP race, what do you rank Jokic as a defender? Last. Then what are we talking about? Come on, man. Get real, man. All right. I'm out, man. I'm out, man. Good stream. I'll catch y'all later tonight. Peace.